Welcome to the War Sports Channel on YouTube, Hot Garbage Sports with me, Coach Ryan D. East Division did not disappoint. Didn't I tell you this looks like a division that the Cup could come out of? Pittsburgh Islanders, fire game. Washington, Boston, even better game. Both lived up to the exact billing, the exact breakdown, and the exact thought process that we talked about in our East Division playoff preview. Link above. Let's go through those two games and let's do exactly what we said we were going to do before, which is reassess where we think this series is going to go after we get more information. And today, baby, we got more information. So roll that intro.
Here's Lemieux, the center penalty coming up. Look at Lemieux.
All right, starting with the Bruins Capitals. We said this series was going to be physical. I told you the Capitals make space by laying the body. They lay the body. They beat teams up. That opens up space for their scorers to go ahead and do damage. But I also told you that Boston could take it. Boston would go to the dirty areas. Boston would take the hits, and we would end up seeing that Boston Bruins power play come through in the end. We were almost all but right, with the exception of the fact that the Boston Bruins power play let us down, and everybody knew going into this series that we were going to end up with Tom Wilson, Jason DeBrusk, Dylan Ritchie, and Dowd being the heroes of this game with the 5 goals that we saw, right? Everybody knew that. It wasn't going to be Bergeron or Marchand or Pasternak or Ovechkin or TJ Oshie. It was going to be Dowd, and it was going to be Wilson, and it was going to be Nolan Ritchie, and it was going to be Nick Ritchie. Yeah, right. But that's the playoffs. You win in the playoffs with guys like these. So taking a look at the box score, the Bruins didn't get as many shots on net as I thought they would end up getting, and that is because the Washington Capitals are beasts in their own zone. They're beasts in the offensive zone too. We said the Washington Capitals get exposed on the rush and through transition because they're slow. That didn't end up getting exploited today by Boston. Boston wanted to play physical games at both ends of the ice. That falls right into the Washington trap, and they weren't able to capitalize. However, Craig Anderson stood on his friggin' head. Anderson as a goalie, fine. He's fine. But last night, wow, that guy carried him through it after he had to come in due to an injury to Vanacek. So Craig Anderson does Craig Anderson things by standing on his head, but we got to expect Craig Anderson's going to come back down to earth. Maybe not in this series because it's short term and they're already up one. He's only got to do it 3 more times, but eventually he's got to come down to earth. We know where the median sits with Craig Anderson. Bergeron, Marchand, Pasternak looked fine. Couple really nice opportunities. Were unable to bury it. Pasternak could have absolutely won the game, crossed the goal line, missed just a hair wide. So this game is going to live up to its billing. We said this was going 7 games. It's still locked in as going 7 games. It's going to be a war back and forth. I guarantee you that Washington's going to keep hitting. They're going to keep pounding on the Bruins. Bruins are not going to back down. Bruins are on the road for this game. Bruins are on the road next game. That's okay if they lose the first 2, because when they go home, they will end up taking a couple to the Capitals. So when that Pasternak line ends up waking up, when that Bergeron group ends up waking up, when that Marchand group ends up waking up, they play on the same line, stupid. I know, I'm just saying names now. When the best line in the NHL, the Bergeron line, wakes up and starts getting nasty and starts putting pucks in the net on the transition, we will end up seeing this series flip. And the last thing we want to say about it, I talked about this. I had Bruins fans blowing me up. Rask is a fantastic goalie in the playoffs. Here's his save percentage in the playoffs. You're not a real Boston fan if you think Rask isn't a playoff goalie. Well, here we are. I don't think Rask let in 2 really good goals. I think goal 1 and goal 3, I think they're pretty mediocre, to be honest. I think Rask stood on his head and stopped a lot of shots he shouldn't have stopped. That's very easy to point out. But my problem with Rask is, and always has been, he reminds me of Curtis Joseph. He makes all the saves he shouldn't make, and then the one save he should make ends up going in. And you can certainly say, well, Ryan, that means he's going to break even. Yeah, sure, whatever. But that's not going to carry you to a cup. So Swayman is sitting there on the side. Swayman's not getting in next game. We know that. I'm not saying pull Rask. I'm just saying he's sitting there on the side waiting. I still think Rask is on a little bit shorter leash than we think. Rask is going to need to keep those sure things out of the net if Boston wants to win. They cannot win if Rask doesn't play perfect. The Washington Capitals have a ton of firepower. So game 2 tomorrow, I expect a lot of the same stuff. Heavy Capitals play, heavy body checking. I expect a lot of great D zone. But I think the Bergeron line ends up showing up. I think guys like Charlie McAvoy on the back end end up getting it dialed in with them on the power play. I'm going to say Bruins take the next game 2-1. Penguins, Islanders, again, Could have told you this story. Well, we did tell you this story. Again, link above. Islanders and Penguins are transition teams. They are so fast. The Islanders ended up going deep last year because they are incredible at creating offense off the rush and transitioning the puck north-south, but so is Pittsburgh. In the first half of this game, I have to say, and frankly, through all of the game, I think Pittsburgh outclassed the Islanders. I think Pittsburgh ran through them. I don't think this game was as even as people think it was, but this is Islanders hockey, people. So Islanders fans, don't get on me too quickly. The Islanders hang around the game and they take advantage of their opportunities when they are handed to them. And today, those opportunities were basically handed to them on a silver plate by Tristin Jarry. That guy was dust. 3 goals, glove side. Give me a freaking break. We talked about this. We said Pittsburgh's goaltending is the only weak point they have. Crosby was on fire. He could have had 3 goals tonight. Absolutely fantastic play by the rookie goalie, Sorokin. Like, what are you supposed to say? Stopping Crosby on the back door in a power play like that with a pass from Chris Letang? Letang and Crosby share left brain, right brain. It's like they're one player. Chris Letang is still a premier defenseman in the NHL. Fantastic puck mover. You add Brian Rust, Sidney Crosby, Jake Gensel into that. Oh my goodness. Pittsburgh looked awesome, and there is no better person down low in the NHL than Crosby. Is there? He is so strong and powerful around that net, and his ability to deflect pucks out of midair, it's disgusting. There is no luck. There's probably a highlight reel of 25 Sidney Crosby goals since he's entered the league where he's picking pucks out of midair and putting them in the net. Never mind the ones that should go in. So I think Crosby should have scored, but he ends up hitting a post on that power play. That would have changed everything. Jarry makes a save or two. Pittsburgh ends up taking this, but this is the Islanders. We got to give credit where credit is due. Mathew Barzel, no points, still a fantastic player. He's a superstar. There's no question. He is the most underrated superstar in the NHL right now, in the conversation with guys like Barkov and Huberdeau, for people we just don't talk enough about. Kyle Palmieri coming over from the New Jersey Devils, fantastic addition because he opens it up tonight. Zajac looked good tonight. The Islanders have a very good system. One goes out, another one comes in. Again, as I said, last video, team of fire ants. When you mess with one, you mess with them all. You could see this game, though, from start to finish, was played in the neutral zone with transition. 3-on-2, 2-on-2, 1-on-1, 3-on-2 the other way, 4-on-3. It was amazing to watch. This is such exciting hockey. What a fantastic series. We ended up picking Pittsburgh in 5. We may have to reevaluate that. I mean, I'm not going to go back on my pick. I'm still going to say Pittsburgh in 5 because that would be cheating. But if the Islanders end up taking the next game, which they absolutely can in this series, we'll go ahead and we'll reevaluate. Could Pittsburgh win a Stanley Cup? For sure. Penguins fans got on me saying, how could you pick Boston over Pittsburgh in the next round? Well, you know what, Pittsburgh fans, we talked about Jarry. I don't know if Jarry's going to be good enough to get you to the Cup final. So what Pittsburgh has to do is one of two things. Either reduce those turnovers and reduce the transition potential of the New York Islanders, keeping those pucks away from Jarry, or they're just going to have to outscore them. That means Pittsburgh's going to have to go ahead and put in 4 or 5 in a night, and Pittsburgh can do both. They are a world-class team from top to bottom with the exception of goaltending right now. So can Jarry recover and become somewhat serviceable? Yes, we'll see. Anyways, that's the East Division breakdown. We're going to break down every division as the 2 games are played within the division. We won't go night by night. So we'll go ahead. We'll drop a new video tomorrow covering the other 2 divisions as the Central and the West end up playing. So tell me your thoughts down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, smash the subscribe. This has been Coach Ryan D with Hot Garbage Sports.